Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Benedict here again from BJ Learn, and in this class, I want us to talk about logical functions. So we'll just talk about simple functions. And then in a different class, we'll talk about more advanced functions, or rather more advanced logical functions of if, and or. So here we'll just talk about simple functions of if, and or. And then if function performs a logical test uh, to give you a true value and an untrue value. So first we'll do a logical test. So if the test passes, they will have a true value. If the test doesn't pass, then we'll have an untrue value. So let's do it practically. So first here we'll write is equal to sign, then we write if. Then we want to check if b1, or rather it's b3, is greater than or equal to 60. So if it is greater than or equal to 60, we say pass. So since pass is a text, so we must put it in open and closing inverted commas. So we write here pass, comma. If the logical test fails, so this will be the false value. So here we'll write fail. Then we close the bracket and press enter. So we can drag the formula down. So here we have all passed, but if I change this value to, so we used instead of 60 we wrote 0. So let me just change this one to 60. So let me flash fill the formula down. So here you can see we have 4 fails and the rest are passes. So let's do another if function. So here you want to do a nested if. So you want to have 4 logical tests. We want to have a failed test. We want to have rather a failed logical test, a pass logical test, a credit logical test, and a distinction logical test. So it will be a nested function. So nested functions are if functions within an if function within an if function. So we write is equal to, then if, in bracket. So we say when b3 is greater than or equal to 50. No, we must start with the highest value. So we start with the smallest value, then it then means that the second value, if uh, if it passes the logical test, then it means that all the other values following this second logical value will pass the logical test. So we just have uh, a single value of logical test, as opposed to having 4 values of logical test. So let's try to explain this practically. So I want to write here if b3 is equal to, if b3 is less than or equal to 50, we write fail. So the added text we write in open and close inverted commas. So this is fail. So again, if b3 is greater than 50, we want to say this is pass. Again, if in bracket b3 is greater than 70, greater than 60, greater than 60, we write credit. So again, if b3 is greater than um, let's say 80, this to give us distinction. So this one I'm doing by design, because it will not give us the true values that we need. So I'm doing this to show you that the order of doing your logical test also matters when you are writing the nested function. So let me just enter, press the enter button, then run it down. So here you can only see pass fail, pass fail. So there's nothing like credit, meaning the order of our logical functions are not okay. So we need to change them. So this one means that all the values that will be greater than 50 will all be written pass, whether they are greater than 60 or 80. So the the second logical function will apply to all these values that are greater than 50, irrespective whether they are 90, 80, or 60. So the order of your logical functions, the order of your logical functions or logical tests also matters when you're writing the formula of nested if. So let's change uh, this formula. Rather, let's try to do another formula in a different column. So this is another nested if. So let me just try to highlight this. This is having an error, and do it with red. So let's do this again. Is equal to if. So now you want to start with the highest value. So we say if b 3 is greater than 80, we say it is distinction. And then if in bracket b3 is greater than 70, we say this is pass. No, this is credit. And then if b3 is greater than 60, we say this is pass. And then lastly, if b3 is less than 60, we say this is fail. And then the brackets also must tie with the number of logical tests that we passed through that formula. So this one is for the last logical test, the next one is for second last, the next one is for the third last logical test, the last one is for the first logical test for if. Then we enter. So now when I drag this formula down, you will see we have um, different values. So here you can see we have pass, we have distinction, we have fail, we have pass, we have credit. You also have fail 3 times, we have pass, then you also have distinction. So this is why I was saying that the order of a logical test that you are passing through your formula also matters. If you do it correctly, you get the correct answer. If you do it wrongly, you get the wrong answers. So let's also try to do AND. So AND is a logical functions that will test multiple. It will test, rather, it will perform multiple tests. They can be 2, they can be 3, they can be 4. So if all pass through, you'll be given a true value. But if all the 4 and 1 fails, if you do 4 logical tests and then 1 fails, then you will also be given a non-true value, so it will not pass. So it performs multiple tests, and all the tests must pass for you to get a true value. So let's try one. So you want to do uh, uh, the column for physics and the column for chemistry. So you want to say that if chemistry and physics is above 60, then we get a pass. If they are below 60, we get fail. So must both must be above 60 for you to get a pass. So I'll write here if so the and must go with if, and even the or function must also go with if. They cannot go alone. So we write if in bracket, then we write and, then in bracket. So the first logical test is to check if B3 is greater than 60, greater than 60. The next logical test is C3 also. The physics column is also greater than 60. Then we close the bracket. So the true value here will be a pass. The non-true value here will be fail. So we are performing multiple tests to get a true value or non-true value. So we write here enter. So when we drag it down, you'll find where we have pass, also find where you have fail. So when you check on where we have fail, you can see this one both they are physics and chemistry are less than 60. The next one we have chemistry is a pass, but physics is a fail because it is less than 60. So we have an overall answer of fail. These are both passing. The next one we have 50 and 60. Those both are fail. And then we also have 95 and 49. So physics is passing, but chemistry has failed. When you go to the next one, you have 50 and then 79. So 79 is a pass, but 50 is a fail. So the overall answer is a fail. So we are saying that and performs multiple tests. So if all the tests pass through, or rather, if all the tests are the conditions are met, they will have the true value. If all the conditions are not met, then we will not have the true value. So here we are having fail and pass. So you can have 4 multiple conditions. You can have 5, you can have 10. It depends with the number of multiple conditions you want to test. So let's go to OR. So OR will perform multiple conditions. So one will pass or one will fail. So if one passes and the other one fails, so they will take one that has passes because it is OR. It is A or B. If A passes, it is okay. If B passes, it is okay. But if both A and B are wrong, then it means that there is a fail. So either must pass. So if both fails, it is a fail. If one pass and one fail, then it is a pass. So let's try to see how this one works. So I'll write here is equal to, then if, I write or, then in bracket. So I want to do let me just try do two logical tests. So if so I want to do this with physics and mathematics. So I want to say um if C3 is greater than 60, or D3 is greater than 60, then we say this is pass. So I will close the bracket first. So now we've written the logical test, rather the conditions for logical tests. So here we'll write pass, otherwise fail. Then we close the bracket and we press enter. So we drag it down. So where we see fail, it means that both the conditions have failed. So like now we have physics is 54 and mathematics is 57. So they are both below 60. They are not above 60. So this is failed because none of them is above 60. When I go to the next one where we have 58 and 95, so you see physics we have failed because it is below 60, and then mathematics we have 95 which is above 60. So here we have pass because we are using or either. uh, when either is greater than 60, we have a pass. So that is so we've talked about logical functions for if, nested if, and or. So when we come back, we'll talk more about advanced functions of if and or. So when they are nested together. So thanks for watching, and let's meet again on the next video.